What's up, y'all? Welcome to Tabletop Bros. Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new combat patrol for the World Eaters. So we got a brand new World Eaters Codex and along with it a brand new combat patrol, the Frenzied Reavers. We're going to have a total of 22 models in the box set and it's coming in at $170, right in line with the other combat patrols. It is led by one Daemon Prince. It also has one Master of Executions, 10 Khorne Berzerkers, and 10 Jackhals. So a really nice box set with 22 models and a great start to a World Eaters army. I think if you're new to Warhammer 40,000 or you're looking to get into a new army, the Combat Patrol Frenzied Reavers is a perfect start. It's going to use some of the base rules from the new World Eaters Codex, like the Blessings of Khorne. You've also got the option of 2 different enhancements. You got 2 different secondary objectives, and then you have 3 stratagems available to you as well. It's going to give you a good grasp on how the World Eaters play on the tabletop and get you familiar with your individual units before building on the full rules of Warhammer 40,000. So first off, we have the army rule, the Blessings of Khorne. At the start of the battle round, you can make a Blessings of Khorne roll. To do so, roll 5d6. You can then use those dice to activate up to 2 Blessings of Khorne. See below. Each Blessing of Khorne specifies the dice roll it requires. Where a number is specified, or double or triple the value or higher is required. You can only activate each Blessing of Khorne once per battle round. Any unused dice from the Blessings of Khorne roll are then discarded. Once activated, each Blessing of Khorne applies to all your units from your army with this ability until the end of the battle round. So example, Eric makes a Blessings of Khorne roll, getting the following 1, 2, 2, 6, 6. First, he uses the 2 6s to activate Martial Excellence, which requires a double 4+. He then uses the 2 2s to activate Rage-Fueled Invigoration, which requires a double 2+. As the 1 can't be used, this is then discarded. Alright, so pretty straightforward. We can look at the 3 blessings available to your army. First, we have Rage-Fueled Invigoration, which requires double 2s or better. And then we have Total Carnage, which requires double 3s or better. And then we have Martial Excellence, which requires double 4s or triple 1s or better. So Rage-Fueled Invigoration, each time a model in this unit makes a pylon or a consolidation move, it can move up to 6 instead of up to 3. So that's going to give you up to 6 inches of extra movement per turn, 3 from your consolidation move, and then 3 from your pylon. That's going to make your army pretty quick. Then we have Total Carnage, which requires double 3s or better. Each time a model in this unit is destroyed by melee attack, if it has not fought this phase, roll a d6. On a 4-up, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks and is then removed from play. So we have a 4-up Fight on Death, a great way for a melee army to make sure they get their hits in before they're picked up. And then last we have Martial Excellence, so you're going to need double 4s or better or triple 1s or better. Melee weapons equipped on models in this unit have Sustained Hits 1 ability. So each 6 to hit is going to give you an extra hit. So some pretty nice abilities here, make you a little faster, make sure you get your licks in if you're deleted in combat, and then also increase your damage output by about 15% in combat. And next we have our enhancements. So first off, we have the default enhancement, which is Fearsome Presence. While the bear is not battle shocked, it has an objective control characteristic of 5. So pretty straightforward, just going to give you a bunch of extra OC. So if you're on a point, you have a higher likelihood of holding it. Or you can swap this out if you prefer for the optional enhancement, Bane of the Craven. Each time an enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles, that is within engagement range of the bearer falls back, all models in the enemy unit must make a Desperate Escape test. When doing so, if that enemy unit is battle shocked, subtract 1 from each of those tests. So another strong ability, tie something up in combat, it's going to want to leave combat so you don't delete it. So at least this way, it's going to take some casualties on the way out with the Desperate Escape test. Next, we have our secondary objectives. So you're still going to have your primary objectives, and then you're going to choose between these secondaries. First off, we have the default secondary objective, Champions of Khorne. From the second battle round onward, at the end of your command phase, if there's an objective marker wholly within no man's land that you control that has 1 or more character models, excluding battle-shocked models, from your army within range of it, you score 2 victory points. If there are 2 such objective markers, you score 3 victory points instead. So basically, if you control an objective in no man's land with a character on it, you're going to get 2 victory points. If you have multiple objectives that you control in no man's land with the character on them, you're going to get 3 victory points. So not bad. With one character, you could score a maximum of 8 victory points. With both your characters on a different objective, you could score a total of 12. Or alternatively, you can take the optional secondary objective, Skull Takers. At the end of the fight phase, for each character model from your army, if that model destroyed 1 or more enemy units this phase, you score 3 victory points. You cannot score more than 12 victory points from this secondary objective. So you got 2 characters in your list. So in order to get 12 victory points and max this secondary objective, you would have to kill 4 units, and you'd have to kill them with your characters. So this does take a little bit of finagling, because if you have a unit that's going to get destroyed, you want to make sure you actually destroy it with your character, not your berserkers or something else. But realistically, since most of the damage coming from your army is going to be from the Daemon Prince, this is actually a pretty viable secondary objective. Next, we have a total of 3 stratagems available to your army. We have Horrifying Butchery for 1 command point at the start of the fight phase. Target one Khorne Berzerker unit from your army. Select one enemy unit within engagement range of your unit. That enemy unit must take a battle shock test. So not bad. You basically put this on one of your Khorne Berzerker units that's already in combat, and then your opponent's unit has to take a battle shock test. If they fail this battle shock test, they would not be able to use stratagems, but it's not really going to affect the scoring of the game, and you may be facing off against an army that's not really using that stratagem, so this one's a little bit situational. Next, we have Berserker Resilience for one command point. Fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Target one World Eater's character unit from your army that was selected as a target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Effect: until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit is destroyed, if that model has not fought this phase, roll 1d6, adding 2 if the Total Carnage Blessing of Khorne is active for your army. On a 4+, do not remove the destroyed model from play. It can fight after the attacking unit is finished making its attacks. It is then removed from play. So this one's not bad because it actually can be used outside of the Total Carnage Blessing, or it can be used on top of it. So the Total Carnage Blessing is already giving you a 4-up fight on death. If you pop this stratagem and it's not active, you're going to have a 4-up fight on death. If you pop this stratagem and it is active, you're going to have a 2-up fight on death. So really good stratagem, especially if you're going into another combat army, to make sure you get in your licks before you're picked up. And last but not least, we have Bloodlust, one command point. Your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit has shot. Target one Jackhals unit from your army that had one or more of its models destroyed by the attacking unit's attacks. Effect: your unit can make a normal move of up to d6. So this one's Jackal specific. When they get shot and one or more models dies, you can then make a move of a d6. So not bad to get on an objective last minute, get a little bit closer to your enemy, maybe move behind some terrain, but it is rather situational. Overall, not bad stratagems, a little bit situational. The enhancements are pretty good, and so are the secondary objectives. Now let's take a look at the data sheets. So we have 4 data sheets available to the army. We have our Daemon Prince, our Master of Executions, our Khorne Berzerkers, and our Jackhals. So first off, we have Vorak, the Daemon Prince. So it is worth note that he does not have the Blessings of Khorne ability, so he's not going to get any of the fight on death or special abilities from the Blessings of Khorne. He has a move characteristic of 10, a toughness of 10, a 2-up save, and a 4-up invulnerable save. He has 10 wounds, a leadership of 6+, and an OC of 3. He has a ranged weapon, the Infernal Cannon, which is rapid fire 1. It has a 24-inch range, 3 attacks, hits on 3s, strength 5, -1 AP, and 2 damage. But most of his damage is coming off in melee with his Hellforge weapons. He has 16 attacks, hitting on 2s at strength 6, -1 damage. So even though all of his attacks are 1 damage and -1 AP, he does have 16 of them and he's hitting on 2s. Most stuff he's going to be facing, he's going to be wounding on 3s. Overall, pretty good damage output, but definitely really good durability. And next we have the Master of Executions. So he has a move characteristic of 8, a toughness of 4, a 3-up save, 4 wounds, a 6-up leadership, and OC 1. He does have the faction ability Blessings of Khorne, so he's going to get all of your Khorne blessings. And then he also has an ability, a Worthy Skull. Each time this model makes a melee attack that targets a character unit, you can reroll a hit roll and you can reroll the wound roll. Each time this model's unit destroys an enemy character model, you gain 1 command point. So he's definitely going to be good at killing other people's characters, and when he does, you're going to gain a command point. His ranged weapon is a bolt pistol, which is pistol, 12-inch range, 1 shot, hitting on 3s, strength 4, 0 AP, 1 damage. But his real damage output is coming in melee with his Axe of Dismemberment. It does have devastating wounds, which means 6s are going to go straight through with no saves possible. And then he also has precision, which means he can target characters even if they have a bodyguard unit attached. He has 5 attacks, hitting on 2s at strength 7, 2 AP, and 2 damage. So on average, he's going to be able to take out just about any character in the game with his rerolling hits, rerolling wounds, precision, and devastating wounds. Very strong melee profile, but it is worth note that he does not have the leader ability, so he's not going to be able to attach to a unit. He's just going to have to run around solo. Next, we have the Khorne Berzerkers. You have 10 of these in the army. They have a move of 8, a toughness of 4, a 3-up save, 2 wounds, a 6-up leadership, and OC 2. They do have the Blessings of Khorne ability. You're going to have a combination of weapons here, mostly bolt pistols, but you're also going to have some plasma pistols as well. You have a standard profile, which is 12-inch range, 1 shot, hitting on 4, strength 7, -2, 1 damage. Or you can supercharge your plasma pistols, gaining hazardous, which means after your attacks are made, you roll a d6 for each plasma pistol you supercharged, and on a 1, one of those models is going to take 3 wounds, aka die. It's still going to have a range of 12 with 1 shot, hitting on 4, but now it's going to have a strength of 8, an AP of 3, and 2 damage. Then you also have your melee profiles, which again is where the Khorne Berzerkers are going to do most of their damage. You have a bunch of chain blades with 4 attacks each, hitting on 3s at strength 4, AP 1, 1 damage. And then you also have some Khornate Eviscerators, 3 attacks each, hitting on 3s at strength 8, AP 2, and 2 damage. So pretty good overall profiles, essentially just Space Marine bodies. But with 10 of them and 2 OC apiece, anything that gets close to them, you're going to be able to take out. So you put these guys into just about anything in combat patrol, and they're going to be able to deal with it in combat. If they end up on an objective, more likely than not, you're going to end up controlling it with your 2 OC each. And then last but not least, we have our 10 Jackhals. They have a move of 7, a toughness of 4, a save of 6+, 1 wound, leadership 7, and OC 1. They do have the Blessings of Khorne faction ability. They're going to be armed with auto pistols, which are pistol, range 12, 1 shot each, hitting on 4s at strength 3, AP 0, and 1 damage. And then they also have a series of melee weapons. You have chain blades, which are 3 attacks each, hitting on 4s, strength 3, AP 0, 1 damage. You have the Mauler chain blade, which is 3 attacks, hitting on 5s, strength 4, -1, 2 damage. And then you have the Skull Smasher and Mangler, 2 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 4, -1, 2 damage. So these guys are substantially less durable. They're only 1 OC, and they're not going to deal nearly as much damage as the Khorne Berzerkers. But that being said, they are a dedicated melee unit, and if they're going into some of the lighter chaff or infantry units, they're probably going to take some casualties, but they're probably going to come out on top. So overall, the Frenzied Reavers are a pretty good combat patrol. They are definitely dedicated for combat, as they have very lackluster shooting. You've got 22 bodies, an extremely durable Daemon Prince that's going to be able to dish out quite a bit of 1 damage attacks. You've got a strong character in the Master of Executions. Unfortunately, he's not able to attach to the unit. The bulk of your damage is going to be coming from your Khorne Berzerkers. They're pretty fast, they're pretty durable, and with the ability to fight on death or consolidate and pile in 6 inches, they're going to be able to get around the battlefield and control the objectives. And then you got your Jackhals to kind of pick up the pieces, stand on objectives, and again, they're pretty quick. Overall, I think this is a really nice combat patrol. It should be pretty balanced in the game. I don't think it's going to be broken or anything like that. It's definitely going to have some good matchups and some bad ones. Depending on what combat patrols it goes into, you're definitely going to have fun with this. But there are certainly going to be some games where you get shot off the table, and there's going to be other games where you just run across the table and pick up all your opponent's models, which I think is a pretty realistic representation of what to expect in Big 40k with the World Eaters. So let me know what you think of the new Frenzied Reavers World Eaters Combat Patrol. If you enjoyed today's video and got any value out of it, hopefully by now Tabletop Bros has earned your subscription. So that is it for the review of the brand new World Eaters Frenzied Reavers Combat Patrol, and that's it from the Tabletop Bros. Later!